So if everyone's doing that, that just, and no one, like everyone seems to be stoked to work here. So that just speaks, working that many hours and being still super content speaks to the culture here. Can you kind of talk about the culture of VaynerMedia?
Yeah, it's definitely the best thing about working here is the culture. And I don't have a lot of experience in terms of working at another place before this, but I will say that a lot of people that I've spoken to here have just spoken to how different this place is than other places. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like I said, I don't have the experience myself, but the culture is really, if you're not a good person, like you can't exist here. Like it just doesn't happen. Like if you can't be the bigger person in a situation, or like just be nice, like it just doesn't work. So the fact that there's that, and just the fact that everybody here is so willing, I think is a big thing, because I don't think you can really teach willingness. And I think that that's something that speaks to the HR department and Gary, really, because of the people that he's been able to hire. Because we hire a lot of people. The thing is, we fire really quickly. Like if it doesn't work, or if you don't get along well with other people, like, so that really is a testament to the kind of people that have remained here for a while. Some of which you have met. And yeah, I think that the whole strategy of the hiring and firing quickly here is a reason why we have people here now that are just like genuinely good people that love to connect and that are like actually trying to do something meaningful and just bring value, man. And that all sounds really good, but to be honest, in my head right now, I'm trying to figure out of how I can like make this like help people watching or listening, or you guys understand like how serious I am. Like, of course, anybody can say that, right? And probably most people would say that about the place that they work. Like, I don't know why, especially on a podcast, you would say anything else, but I don't know how I can best relate that everything I just said is like actually true. But man, yeah, it's just a really nice, like, it's a really safe environment. Like if you're here, like if I mess up, I probably shouldn't say this, but my buddy's broken a camera. Like, cool. Like I've heard Gary say that a client maybe doesn't like a client that we have, like, had a bad experience with this employee. They want them fired. It's not gonna happen, dude. Like, cool, we'll put the employee on somebody else, but no, Gary's not gonna fire somebody for that. Like if you're a part of this culture, like, you're a part of this culture. Like, so I think that's really cool. But because in my experience with just people that I've talked with like this in general, I don't think that every place is like that. So I feel kind of lucky to be in a culture that's like that.
And then kind of to that effect, where clients are asking Gary to fire different people, like how often does Gary check in on what you're doing, if at all?
Rarely with VaynerTalent. He does assist a lot, because a lot of our clients have come to us because they know who he is, or they've done a 4Ds session with us before, like where they come in all day and like hear from different teams, and they're like, oh, I want more. How can we? So they kind of know who Gary is. But so he helps sometimes like have different conversations. Like he'll hop on one of our clients' podcasts, right? Because he knows them, like, to help like just like collaborate like that. But I think a better example would be, and I would love to connect you guys with Andy, because I think he would be an amazing guest on your podcast. But Andy runs Team GaryVee. Like, Gary does not even run Team GaryVee. Andy runs Team GaryVee. Gary just almost blindly trusts Andy. And that's another thing about the culture here that really starts with Gary, is the fact that he trusts you unconditionally up front until there's a reason not to, not the other way around where you have to prove yourself. Trust is just given, and then you have to lose it. It's not backwards. So I think that, and that's probably a reason why we've had some good things happen here. But I would love for you to talk to Andy, because like that's the perfect example. Gary does not micromanage, but neither does Lindsay, who's over VaynerTalent. Like, like but especially Gary, because he's over the whole thing. Like, he rarely talks to Andy, and it's funny because Andy said the other day that actually kind of makes it difficult when you when you're running Team GaryVee and you don't talk to GaryVee that much, but they obviously do. But you get what I'm trying to say. Like, he doesn't micromanage at all, which I think is really interesting, and it just goes to show like how much he trusts the people that are here.